Marvel Rivals dropped a new mode called Ultron's Battle Matrix Protocol. I always gotta make sure I don't mix up any of them words. Now, this isn't just a new event game mode. This is an actual experimental game. When they say something is experimental in most of the games that you'll play, it usually means if people like it, they'll bring it back permanently, and we can look forward to seeing updates and things like that in its own separate game mode. I myself personally has had a blast. You guys see me on stream, I was able to hit top 500. It's great, I love the game. But with all great things come negative things. I don't really think that's a thing. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. While there's a lot of positives to the game mode, there's also a lot of negatives to the game mode, and I want to talk about that today. So let's talk new game mode. Yeah, because y'all thought I was about to put let's talk Ultron's Battle Matrix Protocol. Nah, it's too long to put down there. Let's talk new mode. Kicking it off with the first thing that I want to talk about is going to be the fact that you cannot play with friends. Now, this is something personal to me. Well, it's not just me, it's other people too, but this is something that I felt the most about, that you're unable to play with friends. And I feel like there's maybe a couple of reasons why they didn't do this. The first reason could be the fact that there's a leaderboard and they're saying, well, if you group up with your friends and you have your friends lose on purpose, you climb the leaderboard faster, and they don't really want that. The second thing could be that maybe it's glitchy and buggy and it's just easier to get all the kinks out with going in by yourself than it is going in with another party member or something like that. I'm not sure if that, whatever their case is, but the fact that there's never been any solo game mode, even for ranked, it kind of seems weird. It seems weird. And a lot of people find this game boring. Now, when I say a lot of people, it's not actually a lot of people. There's more people that enjoy the game mode than that find it boring. But one of the things that makes it boring to them is the fact that, again, you can't play with anybody. You're playing by yourself. And if you don't like this type of game, maybe you play Marvel Rivals, but you don't like this auto chess type game mode, you're not going to want to play it. Usually when people don't want to play something and a friend or significant other, brother, sister, mom, dad, son, daughter, y'all know, they could get you to do it because you guys are playing together. Well, that can't really happen. So again, not only can you not play with people, but people that may find it boring at the start could possibly like it if they just had someone to play with and explain things to them. That leads me on to number 2. There are no tutorials or tips and tricks in this mode. You kind of just have to go in knowing. If you're someone who's played Teamfight Tactics from Riot Games or played Dota 2, is it Dota 2? Or is it just called Dota Auto Chess? I played it like once. If you play that, then you kind of are familiar with this game mode. You kind of know what to expect. It's not the same. Marvel Rivals definitely separates themselves from those two games, but there are similarities. And so if you've played those matches, you already understand pretty much how this works and what to do. For those that have never seen this type of mode in their lifetime, this game mode is very intimidating and you don't really understand what's going on, why you're winning, why you're losing, what you should do, who you should pick. You don't really understand any of that. Ironically though, they do a really good job to make it seem like it's a real Marvel Rivals match. And what I mean by that is by having the right comp for, let's just say, a real Marvel Rivals match will help you find success in an actual Ultron's Battle Matrix Protocol match. which is cool. The way you position your characters, the way you combine which ones and stuff like that. Like it's kind of similar to a real match, which I think is really cool. That being said, there still are no tips, tricks, tutorials, or anything like that for this mode. Now we have to keep in mind, this is an experimental mode, which means that it's not even a full mode yet. And so I can understand why they might not have a tutorial for it because things can change drastically. That being said, having just a little like tip and trick here and there, pick which characters you want. You could pick 6. You put them in there. The best comp is usually 2-2-2. 2 tanks, 2 DPS, 2 healers. Okay, and then pick the card that matches, like just stuff like that. Just a little baby step type things just to ease someone into it, but just dropping them in and saying, hey, have fun. Some players just don't like that type of thing. The third thing that I want to hit on is going to be the matches take too long. Now, a typical ranked match can go from maximum of like 25 minutes. Usually, if it's a long game, it's 25 minutes. I've seen higher and I've been in higher, but like average long game is 25 minutes. Then the average minimum game is probably about 5. So you're having a window of 5 minutes to 25 minutes, but these matches take upwards of 35 minutes to 40 minutes. And one of the main reasons that I've noticed is not necessarily the pacing of the match, but the amount of HP that you lose when you lose a round. I feel like you should lose more HP when you lose a round. And there's also like 2 setup rounds. So you have a buying round and then you have a setup round, but you can still buy in the setup round, and it's 15 seconds. I think that you should just combine them, and you should be able to buy and place at the same time to kind of rush it forward. 15 seconds times, I don't know, maybe like 20 rounds. That's a lot of minutes that you could just shave off just like that, right? And then just kind of having someone lose more HP instead of it making it feel like a drag would also be something to help eliminate it. So I don't think we need to shorten the battles or we need to shorten things like that, but I do think we could cut off some time here and there and it could drastically change the length of the game. I think that's something that they probably already looking at, they already are thinking about, because you can't, it's one thing if the matches were already long, like League of Legends, their matches, or if you play Dota, their matches are already 30 to 40 minutes. So going to a game mode like TFT or Dota Auto Chess, it's pretty similar. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that much of a gap. But when you're playing Marvel Rivals, one thing I enjoy about the game is that it's very quick and you can get a few matches in within an hour. That's nice, especially if you play quick match. And then going to a match that takes almost an hour, little bit of a different jump gap. And so I think that adjusting the time somehow would be a great way to alleviate this and get a lot more players in the game. The next thing that I want to hit on is going to be certain cheap builds for your comps end up dominating matches. So like 6 tanks or 4 tanks or 6 healers or 6 DPS. And I understand this mode is meant to be experimental, but you shouldn't be able to buy just random nonsense and then win. I myself has never came across this, by the way. I was able to counter whatever I seen by buying the right stuff. Now this could be the fact that I'm just more experienced with this type of stuff. Again, I played TFT and I played Dota Auto Chess, so I already know like there's counters to things like this, and they do have cards to say take less damage from vanguards, take less damage from strategists. So if someone is building 6 vanguards, you could just buy the card that lets your whole entire team take less damage from vanguards, and now they're just, you know, just tanks. So there are counters to that, so I don't want to lean too much into that, but I do know a lot of players have been saying they've been building things like that, or they've been losing to things like that. So although there is a counter, apparently it just takes too much effort to counter it, and maybe there should be an easier way for players that aren't used to this mode to be able to counter it. I don't really have much to say on it. Again, I'm not part of that particular group. Maybe they're like, well, it's meant to be a harder mode, so learn to counter it. Or maybe they're going to be like, we can kind of see what you're saying and how you guys feel. Maybe we can adjust it a little bit so that they don't dominate so easily. And in order for you to reach that power spike, you got to play a little bit longer. So I don't know how that works. Let me know how you guys feel about that one, if that's you. Going into our 5th one here, which is kind of stemming off of the 4th one, is going to be you can buy cheap cards to upgrade your team, and that will make you just dominate a match. And what I mean by cheap cards, you can buy all purples, or you can buy all reds and all blues, and you know, and just kind of like run over a match. Again, it takes away a lot of the creativity, but once again, I've never really lost to anything like that. There's counters to everything when you buy properly. So again, I played a lot of TFT, I played a lot of Dota Auto Chess. Oh, I played a lot of Teamfight Tactics. I only played a few of Dota Auto Chess, but I've watched it, my fair bit of it. And there are some cheap comps, there are some cheap builds, but it usually comes at a cost. Usually you'll buy cheap stuff and it will dominate early, but if the game goes too long, you'll lose and you'll be outscaled. Usually you'll buy cheap cards and you'll dominate early, but then again, you'll get outscaled and lose. And I know you guys have seen that on my stream where I would lose really early, like be in last place, and then somehow I'm first place every single time. And it's kind of like, well, it's because I countered what they had. So again, I'm not sure if this is really an issue of like the game state itself, or if it's more of an issue of like players just need to learn how to play it first, and then they can get used to how to counter these cheap things. I just wanted to put those two in there just because I know a lot of people have said things about that, and I wanted you to feel included, obviously, especially if they even end up watching this. I want them to know what you guys feel. That's why I do these Let's Talk. I do these Let's Talks so we can communicate together. Is that even a... I do these Let's Talk so we can have a conversation together. You can voice your opinion, and if they end up watching stuff like this, or someone that's connected watches it, you just got your opinion spoken to them and stuff like that's pretty much how creators work. We're basically your bullhorn. If you have issues and we make a video on it, sometimes that can get to the company, and then they can kind of get your, you know, it's sometimes better than looking through a seed of Twitter comments or a seed of Reddit posts that you may not get seen. You know, they only have limited amount of time. One reason why I do that is so you guys can get your voice heard, but I also just love to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you guys have any other issues with the mode? Do you guys feel like, oh, Poppin, you pretty much hit the nail on the head with what I was having my issues about? Or are you guys like, well, Poppin, I got a few. You know, I don't like how you can't blah blah blah. Or you know, what do you guys feel? But not just the bad, the good. What do you like about it? Do you want the mode to come back? I really want the mode to come back. I want the mode to come back with duos. I want the mode to come back with ranked. I'm trying to grind both Marvel Rivals and this new mode. I'm 1000% satisfied, and I know as the game evolves and as they bring it back, it's gonna get better and better and better. And as they add more characters to the game, they're gonna add more characters to that mode, and it's gonna be hype. So I honestly cannot wait for it to come back, and I think that it will, considering how popular it is. When you queue, you get a match instantly. But y'all know it's halftime. Halftime is my Let's Talk section. If you guys want to have any of your questions, comments, or concerns brought up on the screen here, you want me to talk about it, want the community to talk about it, let me know by doing hashtag Let's Talk in the comments below. The first comment that we have here is from Matsuta MJ. Let's talk. Even though I have a mic, I don't usually talk unless I'm on with friends or family, but when I do speak on mic, I don't mind being a team player and listening. The toxic at times chat will try to bait a response to get an excuse to report you. Is that a real thing? Do people like bait you to get reported? Has any of you guys like that's wild. I've never experienced that or heard about that in any game. Do people maliciously try to get you upset to then make you say something to get you reported? That is some next level. That is wild. That is wild. I mean, for me personally, I don't use mics. So last season when climbing to One Above All, or Eternity/One Above All, I didn't use a mic at all. I'm very calmless. I don't type unless I really, really need to type. So a lot of the times people play with me, I'm more attentive to kind of what they're doing, and then I play off of them, or I have them play off of me in that regard. And I think not only does that help me become a better player in terms of just evolving my different types of aspects of my gameplay that I feel I'm weaker at, but it also allows me to make better content for you guys because I know a lot of the hurdles and struggles I go through. So if I go through them and you guys struggle as well in that same regard, then I know how to deal with it. Versus if I get to One Above All, well, you can't really play as a group anymore, but let's just say I get to Eternity with a group of 4 people and it's me and 3 other people. Well, I can't give you the same valid advice because I literally climb with 3 other players. This is why I play solo, so that I can give you the best advice that there is without trying to say, oh, I did it without having a group of players with me or a duo with me in the entire. Nothing's wrong with that, but I just know me personally, I get more value playing without a mic and I'm playing by myself, and then I can give more value because I've done that. And that's just a personal thing with me. It has nothing to do with anybody else. So if you play with a group or you play as a duo and you use mic, or you play by yourself and you still talk to people, I mean, it's chilling. That's fine. Just for me, that's just how I feel. The next comment is from Jello Hisoka Man 555. They said, last season I was ranked Diamond 2. This season I found it very difficult to get out of the Gold 2. When last season Gold seemed to be quicker to get through. Any tips for climbing both solo and with other players? Hashtag Let's Talk. Yes, I flex play a lot of last. This is what happened. P.S. I flex play a lot, but last season I was mostly DPS, and this season I've been mostly tank or support. Also, if anyone is looking for a squad, let's chat. I mean, you see it right there. Go comment on that. Let's chat. When it comes to climbing this season versus last season, and when I say this season and last season, I'm more referring to 1 and 2, not the halves. So when it comes to climbing between 1 and 2, you're playing with people that are still your rank. They just have a different shade to their rank, right? So you're still playing with diamond players because you guys got all pushed back, even though your rank is gold. And this is why it feels harder to climb out of gold. Sometimes some of the players that are Grandmaster got demoted to gold instead of being platinum. So now you're playing with Grandmasters in gold games. This is why it seems harder to climb. That being said, by now, I think that the ranks should be dispersed a bit evenly. I checked on the Marvel Rivals, I don't know if it was a tracker or something, but a few data sites, and it shows that most players are Diamond and Grandmaster. Like majority of players are in that bracket, which is weird. That's not how normal games should be. So I don't know if it's because people are playing together so that climbing is easier. People have often said, Poppin, when I play with a group, it's harder than solo queue. I don't think that's true at all. It might feel harder, but it's definitely easier to climb in any game when you play with people. That's just kind of the benefit of playing with people. Now, if you play with people that aren't good, then it becomes harder, right? Because the enemy team is better. But like realistically, if you have a squad of friends you play with every night, you're going to be climbing a lot more efficiently than someone playing by themselves every night with randoms. So I don't know if that's why that is. I don't know if it's because maybe they didn't calibrate everything properly. I don't know if it's because they don't have any MMR, which is matchmaking rating. But in my opinion, no game should have most players at an above average rank. Most players should be bronze and silver, right? And then it should just kind of stem off from that. It'd be gold, and as you get higher, less people are there. It shouldn't be most players. It shouldn't be going from low to majority to low again. That's very strange. If it does that, it should be more towards the back. So maybe like not a lot of people are bronze, but a lot of people are silver, and then we get to gold, and then it stems off and goes down from there. But I think something is a major issue if majority of the players on all platforms, by the way, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, majority of the players are Grandmaster and Diamond. That shouldn't be where our medium is for our rank. So hopefully by season 3, it adjusts and it changes itself. Maybe they add an MMR system or something like that. So that way we can have everyone calibrated better. We can have better matches. We can have better teams, better enemies, and it just feels a lot more competitive. And you don't end up in situations like this where you are a higher rank last season and now it's harder to get back. Like, it shouldn't feel like that every season, and every season it has. So you're not alone. That's just how it is, unfortunately. And we just have to look to the future and hope that they do something about their ranking system, so that way the people that climb deserve to, and the people that don't. That's pretty much how it should be. Once again, if you guys want to have your comments or questions or anything pop on the screen just like that, and you want me to respond to it, the community to respond to it, then make sure you do that hashtag Let's Talk in the comments below and put what you want to say. And yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys watching as always. Thank you for getting to this. If you got to this far of the video, you are a true popping off the man. I'm just saying, anybody who gets to the end, congratulations, pat yourself on the back. Much appreciated. If you want to help support the channel and the content that I create, please consider clicking that join button. If you want coaching, again, join button, or click the link in the description below. And if you want a free VOD review, make sure you check out the description below as well. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, you know what I always say. Thank you guys for doing what? Popping often. We're locked.